You're watching TDR TV, the home of Team Dobson Racing.
This week, my daddy's racing at...
Yeah, when you keep twisting it and it comes off.
It fell.
No, this way. Come this way. Always come back towards where Daddy is. Did it come off? You might be able to do that one with your fingers now. Well done. And then just do other two. Keep you helping. Get your little toolbox, won't we? So you've just seen my daughter helping with a stock cart. We often get asked what a stock cart is, so I think I've sort of brushed on it before, but let's go through it a little bit for you. So, full contact. Stock carts are a full cage based on like an extended go-kart cage, essentially. You'll see that they have got bumpers. Two levels of bumpers on side, bumpers on back. That is because it is full contact. We are going 40, maybe even a bit more mile an hour on certain tracks, and we do hit each other. It's as simple as that. We've got aero. More for looks as anything, but there's the front one and the back one. You do have to have these on the cart. You can't choose not to. They don't really do a lot, but they do make it look quite cool. Mirrors, I use old DTM mirrors that used to be on a show winning, well, not show winning, but show showing Arosa that we used to have. We've had the normal mirrors, but they tend to work loose on bumpier tracks, and it would really annoy me, so we've tried something a bit different. Some say it would be overkill, but it is good to have them on there. Some people don't even use them. I do. Now your hubs, Callie's just taken this wheel off, so obviously you've got your wheels. Your front two are the same wheels, exactly the same size, you just change the pressures. This is the sort of setup at the front axle. There's no suspension, so you've got your blocks there at either side. During big accidents they can bend and get to different levels on this side and that side, which means you can actually sort of get the axle to be not level, which can cause quite a lot of problem and handling problems. Plugins, you've probably heard me mention these quite a few times. This bolt goes through, there's a load of bearings in here. These bearings can shatter, so all this then goes loose, and obviously that means that the wheel is going up and down as you're driving. That can be massively problematic. These plugins also, you can set them slightly back. Not a lot, there is a limit to what you can do, but that affects the way it handles massively. One previous one at Skegness, we'd got these both facing forward by accident, and it meant that the cart just wouldn't go around the corner, it bounced. Then you've got this part here. Now, you probably heard me mentioning last week's Buxton that our tracking were 4.5 inch out after going opposite way around. We weren't joking, so we did hit the wall and we bent this, and it made the tracking massively out. So this is one that we've had to put on last week. Brakes, yes we do them, and you need them. We don't use them often, but they are a quad brake. Can be quite problematic, tend to get a lot of air in them, so you have to bleed them up a lot. Again, that were a Buxton problem, especially in the rain. We lost a good few positions by hitting the wall because we literally didn't have any brakes going into the corner. We bled it up, we got some brakes back, but there was no reason for losing them in first place. You've got your hubs with your brake disc on, all together. Again, bearing in there. You have to keep an eye on that being free. You also have to make sure that obviously it's not rubbing on the brake disc, pads as well. If anyone's got aught to add to this, by the way, I am not the best person in the pit by far, but I'm just trying to give people a bit of an idea. You've got your engine, which is a 400cc Honda engine, chain driven, which can be a problem, and a centrifugal clutch. So behind this clutch there's some teeth. When this chain comes off quite a few times, them teeth can end up getting worn, and then that becomes a problem that keeps going and going and going, like our first season. The teeth where the chain keeps coming off left, right and centre. So that was a massive problem. We bought this block here, looks like nothing, but it's a guiding block from Ian. It just stops the chain going too far one way or the other. It does help, and it has been improved. The exhausts are direct from STOXKARTS, you can only use them. That's what gives it the thumping noise. And then obviously you do have to check the alignment of the clutch up. We've got some axle bearings here. This stops the axle going from side to side, because obviously that can affect the way that the chain drives. Tyres. We've got a Duro on that side, and we've got a Kenda Holden on that side. They are totally different tyres. Obviously these cars are made to go round one way and one way only, so the stagger on the back is so. Quick release back end, not bore people too much, but quick release back end to try and put the deep petrol and everything in. Fully FIA 5-point harness, you've got to have that for safety, as well as a Butler built seat, which even the big boys use. None of that changes, it's all part of it. Has to be bolted in 4 places. Petrol tank, proper aluminium racing tank. You've got to have your battery in a box, which we have. Obviously this is the axle that we've got lots of problems with. These do bend, goes through a bearing at that side, through a bearing at that side. That's your rear brake disc, which at the moment our brake disc is rubber. Fuel filter in line. We've got no carb on at the moment because we're just cleaning it. Spark plug, BPR 6ES I think it is, from NGK. Fantastic that we get all that because we can get them trade cheap enough. Filter, need to put carb back on there. Obviously you've got your earth, so that's that back end really. Ugh. On this side you haven't got a lot to look at because you haven't got your engine, again that's for pure weights. Just your bearing and a sleeve to stop this axle going again. Inside we've got a switch there, power switch, flick it, turns it on, off you go. We've also got a removable steering wheel, they come on and off, and you can just see track rod ends there, and also just that there is the brake block that puts the brake fluid from front to back. So that is really pretty much a kart. Obviously we get in and out in the lid comes up and you get in. A lot of people ask that, but other than that, that is a kart. They are quite a simple beast as such, but they're also very problematic if things go wrong. Smallest thing that goes wrong on these, and they're a lot slower, so you have to check tracking and stuff like that every week. But guys, that is just the ins and outs of a stock car. I don't think we've ever gone quite as deep into it as that. Just thought we'd give you some ideas. Like I said, there's all kinds of different tips. People use different PSIs in tyres, use different staggers on tyres, but there's not a lot you can do to them that is allowed, if that makes sense. We all use the same thing for a reason. My seat is probably not in the best place. It needs to go further back. We found that out at Skegness this year. That would help weight on the back axle. I tend to run it with loads of fuel in it because it tries putting a bit more weight in to compensate the fact that I'm probably further forward in the kart than I should be. But we haven't done bad because we've got to blue. So like I said, what we do is we're checking bearings now to make sure they're free. You've just seen in that video that one looks free and the brake's working, so that's good. We'll do the same on that side. We'll then make sure that this is actually lined up. We're just doing the back axle. We've done that now, tightened it all up. Like I said, we've still got some problems, but that's it. Clean the carb out, put a new spark plug in, big and bash boom, off you go. So that's really it. That is a stock kart. Thank you guys. See thee. Sunday morning. Yeah. Not good on mornings. So we are on our way to Hendersford. We are a little bit earlier than what we thought, but we're still going to be pushing it. But as always, if you've seen a trend in our videos, you'll notice that we always start somewhere like this. Costa stroke Subway, good old Cara. Hendersford. Bit of a soggy Hendersford. Just going to driver's meeting, which at Hendersford we always have in the middle. Now we've got a problem at the moment that Dawn's kart's not turned up. As the Iberders haven't turned up yet. So the joys of Hendersford is you get to do driver's meeting in here, but just to give you an idea what Hendersford's like, I think we've shown you before, this is the biggest tarmac track we race on. Luckily it's dry as a bone right now.
For now.
Hopefully it stays that way. That'll help us very much with the settings. But yeah, Endo. Driver's meeting before the meeting. Keep an eye out for Dawn's kart.
5 o'clock.
So it begins again. Just been told to get cars. And the heavens have opened. Awesome.
He's ended up in centre, like midfield. So let's see what he's broke or what's damaged. God help me.
So that's the end of race 1. Them puddles are all new since we went out to race, so wet through, absolutely wet through. Our balance of his car, we said it before, in wet is just not right. We tried some at then and it were a bit better, but we still spun, and we literally did a pirouette and it shook the chain off. So what we're going to do now is totally change it up.
Heat number 2.
Race 2, wet again, massively wet. Changed setup massively to try and get us crossover so it didn't spin as much. It was a little bit more settled, but still massively wet back end heavy. So we've gone even more now. It were alright, not bad, but yeah, out at points I think. Nothing spectacular, just roundy. Can't say I didn't enjoy it. It'd be nice for some points and to get to the bottom of Whitewater race on wet tarmac. Let's try this one and see what happens now. But on that note, unfortunately we might try and post a video. Dawn got piled into a parked car and has damaged the back end massively, so she's not going to be racing this last race. Unfortunately in the wet there's a very little margin for error, unfortunately. So let's see how race 3 treats us. Happy days, Picardo's just had a pot noodle though. Silly.
Took it off, didn't you?
One word to describe today. Not swearing.
Wet.
I think that's going to be a popular one. It's definitely going to be a popular one. What's one word? Dismal. Abysmal. One word to describe today and it can't be swearing. Wet.
Mildly moist.
Mildly moist.
Sogging.
Kingy. What? Just say crash. Crash.
Heat 3.
This is how race 3 ended. 9 out of 10 for pirouetting, but big issues. As soon as we pushed it, this is what happens. Just a closer view. How many times did we go round? So yeah, Dawn didn't get out for race 3. Car is wet through and sodden. People say that I can sometimes be too grumpy on these vlogs, so I'm going to say as less about that as possible, because there's nothing really good to say about today's racing. The car is just twitchy, back end happy, we did loads and loads of changes that race and it still made no difference. Dawn's just said that when I came off, my front wheel were wobbling all over the place, so I need to look at that. That won't have helped, but we just can't get it set up for the rain at all, and that's doing me. So on that note, we've got to get, haven't we, till Ipswich, but if it's going to rain at Ipswich we might not bother. It's a long bloody way, so we'll see what happens. But that is a very soggy, horrible Hendersford. Done and dusted. Off we go. Need to get wound. Did it.
This week's sponsor is Betty Surf. Betty Surf is located down in Morganporth, between Newquay and Padstow. The most picturesque shop you'll ever see. You walk out of it straight onto the beach. Absolutely beautiful. At this store you will find surfboard hire, wetsuit hire, anything related to water. Head down there, you'll find it. They do experiences. They even update you on the weather on Facebook. So make sure you head over to their Facebook and give them a like, give them a follow. As you can see on the map, you'll be able to find them dead easy to find. All the contact information is on the website, so anything that you need, do not hesitate to get in touch. Absolutely fantastic set of people. Great range of stock. As you can see here, my amazing woolly hat I had on this weekend. Only thing that kept me dry. Keep scrolling and you will see their great stuff. Give them a like, share and follow, guys.